A quiet ballroom of predators, velvet, masks, and the oldest game, selection. You step in thinking romance. But what moves here is older than poetry. Female choice sorting signals from noise. Darwin noted that beyond survival, creatures are chosen. Chosen traits cost and prove. You are not being judged morally. You are being measured for credibility now. Bateman showed the asymmetry. Some men gain wildly, many gain little. Status anxiety breeds performance. You chase approval instead of arousal. You mistake being chosen for being understood. You sell story instead of signal and wonder why the room stays cold. Under incentives, people test because tests reveal who pays. Trivers explained the calculus. Higher investment raises choosiness, and choosiness rewards the rare and reliable. In the attention economy, apps compress a century of introductions into a minute. Social proof becomes a floodlight. You think more exposure equals more desire. It often ends up being cheaper for you. Set boundaries on where your value is displayed. Bus mapped patterns across cultures. Reliability, ambition, kindness, and competence endure while clout decays. You perform, and the mask eats you. You perform, and desire dies. Learn to show cost honestly. Time guarded, work shipped, standards enforced. Play chess, not theater strategy, not sin. Responsibility, not blame. If selection is ancient, your first power is to see the rules without flinching. Hypergamy is not a slur. It is preference architecture inside sexual selection. Darwin observed that mate choice sculpts traits across generations, so some signals advance, others die. Here, female choice is an ancient filter, not a scandal. In evolutionary psychology, you read selection by outcomes, not feelings, reliable patterns, repeated across time, testing who creates value under constraint. Think less gossip, more measurement signals, not stories. Trivers clarified why choosiness concentrates. When one side invests more, the cost of error rises. Under those incentives, some people vet for provision, protection, and stability. You confuse attention with acceptance and inflate weak matches. You mistake being pursued for being respected. Standards and boundaries are how you govern yourself before any romance begins. Sovereignty precedes pair bonding. Zahavi explained costly signaling. Credible traits impose real expense. The peacock's tail, wasteful yet persuasive. The guildmaster marrying within tier, preserving quality. Arranged marriages forging alliances like chess, not a stage. You perform cheaply and call it depth. Cost is the forge that hardens signal into proof. Bus mapped durable preferences. Character, competence, ambition, and generosity anchor attraction while flash decays. In the attention economy, LinkedIn and Instagram convert life into continuous status signals. Credit can mimic cash. A rented lifestyle fakes fitness cues. The creator economy rewards competence that ships. You narrow exposure, audit debts, and show receipts with discipline. Reliability is the throne on which status rests. Once you see the selection, you can audit what you're signaling. The mirror does not lie. It only repeats you. You project hunger onto a stranger and call it fate, then build a story to excuse the bargain. In evolutionary psychology, projection is a script. Your hope paints halos, your fear paints monsters, and both erase data. Under dating dynamics, the attention economy rewards fantasy because it's frictionless. You stop checking signals and start feeding a dream. You think surrender is romance. It is unclear what you mean. Jung warned that projection turns the unknown into a mask you obey. You think intensity equals truth. You confuse chemistry with compatibility. You mistake being pursued for being respected. When approval becomes oxygen, you volunteer for tests you never agreed to, trading boundaries for the thrill of maybe. Nietzsche described resentment as the art of blaming what you secretly desire. You envy status signals while calling them shallow, so you perform a moral high ground that hides a pitch. You prefer the stage to the forge, cheap image over costly habit. Predators watch. You audition for them with every anxious text. Daly and Wilson showed how risk runs hot when status feels scarce. So you escalate. Late-night drives, last-minute flights, grand gestures for someone non-committal. Platforms reward the stunt and punish restraint. Breadcrumbing extracts attention while you celebrate crumbs as progress. You are not trapped. You are underwriting the trap. Bus mapped how mate value gaps distort deals. Soft power tests lateness, vagueness, hedging measure. If you'll police access or pay for ambiguity, no free attention, audit the ledger, time, effort, reciprocity. Enforce consequences quietly and leave cleanly when terms stay lopsided. Strategy, not sin. Responsibility, not blame. If projection is a trap, the exit is measurement. The empty chair at the head of your life is still unclaimed. You keep waiting for someone to crown you, but standards are the throne you either sit on or surrender. Nietzsche reduced will to power to self-ordering. You decide which impulses command and which obey. You mistake being chosen for being understood. In evolutionary psychology, some incentives reward drift. Your task is governance, not drift. Baumeister tied self-regulation to rules that conserve energy. Your rules are simple. No auditions in DMs, no chasing lateness, no performing for silence. Calendar scarcity is a signal you create by guarding work, not a trick you play. You think endurance is loyalty. It is permission. When terms blur, you write them down, then live them. Boundaries turn anxiety into structure, and structure into respect. Trivers framed reciprocity as a clear exchange, benefits matched by costs over time. In dating dynamics, some women select for reliability and upward trajectory because error is expensive. You verify with audits, invitations answered, plans kept, effort mirrored. You think scarcity is value. It is a signal you must verify. Reciprocity is the forge, deposits, withdrawals, and the ledger that decides whether the account stays open. Ostrom showed that commons survive when members enforce rules and apply consequences. Your time is the commons. No free attention. Repeated ghosting closes access. Consequences are calm and final. You sit on the throne by keeping your word and projecting presence. You are not cruel. You are consistent strategy, not sin. Responsibility, not blame. With ownership claimed, you can learn the paradox that builds and destroys desire. Desire begins with gravity and dies by suffocation. Your early spark is costly, then you smother it. Zahavi's logic is simple. Signals persuade when they cost you. When cost vanishes, proof dissolves. You flood the room with availability and drain the charge. Fire needs space. You think intensity is intimacy. It is often oxygen burned too fast. In evolutionary psychology, attention economy multiplies your reach and erodes your rarity. Treat visibility like fire, contained, directed, limited. Miller points to creative competence. Value is demonstrated in shipped work, not displayed in needy loops. Over-texting is a supply glut. Oversharing is status leakage. Algorithmic fatigue punishes the always-on. You confuse attention with attachment. Set boundaries that protect cadence. Fewer, cleaner moves beat frantic spectacle. In dating dynamics, scarcity should emerge from focus, not games. Fisher separates phases. Attraction tolerates uncertainty. Attachment requires predictability. You try to hold both by performing consistently while demanding thrill. The paradox collapses desire. Give rhythm, keep range. Maintain a stable core with changing edges, projects, places, pace. Pair bonding grows when signals match promises and time keeps its appointments. You assume access equals interest. It equals exposure. Bus cautions against mate guarding that becomes surveillance. Guarding suffocates. Autonomy breathes. Don't hover. Don't pre-solve. Invite, then release. Check reciprocity, not every notification. Play chess, not checkers. Positional strength, not frantic trades. Let fire stay fire. Do not jar it under glass strategy, not sin. Responsibility, not blame. Accept the cost of autonomy, and the world will test you for it. You raise standards, and the room cools. Invitations fade, jokes sharpen, silence stretches. Nietzsche called the Creator's road a narrow ascent. You build where others pose. You think approval is safety. It is a leash. Step toward the abyss, and the crowd names it arrogance. Selection pressures never promised comfort. They reward credibility, not applause. And credibility grows in quiet, disciplined work away from social proof. Baumeister and Leary showed how belongingness drags you back to the middle. Group chats punish restraint because your boundaries expose their bargains. You mistake being busy for being wanted. You mistake noise for status signals. Hold the line. Sleep, training, deep work, dates that respect time. In dating dynamics, masculine sovereignty is not theater. It is scheduling your life around purpose and letting attraction orbit discipline. Frank wrote that commitment devices protect you from yourself. Put the phone in another room. Pre-commit to deliverables costing weekends. You think flexibility is freedom. It is drift. Standards become steel only when they cut real options. In the attention economy, algorithms reward conformity. Your protocols reward coherence. Costly signaling is not a stunt. It is the receipt for self-command and men's development. Trivers noted that asymmetric investment breeds conflict. You enforce reciprocity, and mockery appears. You're cold, you're controlling, you're proud. You are none of these. You are consistent. Pair bonding needs predictability, and predictability needs rules. When ridicule arrives, log it as data. You do not argue with shadows. You outlast them steadily. If you endure the descent, you can walk the path deliberate, sovereign, and simple. Lay out the tools. Jung called individuation a center, not a costume. You are not a collage of moods. You are a through line. Write a one-page code, naming your work, your hours, and your non-negotiables. You choose the script, or you become it. In dating dynamics, clarity reduces games, ambiguity dies in daylight. The forge is routine. Sleep, training, output, then invitation never reversed. Kahneman shows willpower is a weak battery. Defaults do the lifting. Pre-commit your calendar to deep work and let social time flow around it like water around a stone. No performance dates, coffee after you ship, walks after the gym, calls that end on schedule. You think flexibility is freedom. It is drift. Build rails so your best moves happen on average days. Ostrom's lesson is rule clarity. Commons live when members know the terms and consequences. Your time is a commons. Access requires reciprocity. State terms once and keep them. Master-apprentice standards endured because quality stayed visible. Oaths outlasted regimes because penalties were credible, screened by shared projects, not promises. Invite cooperation, price disruption, close the gate on repeat confusion. Status signals follow reliability, not noise. Nietzsche ties style to the unity of character, one rhythm across choices. Ship on weekdays, explore, and disappear into study without apology. This is masculine sovereignty, limits that protect creative fire. You think attention equals interest, it equals exposure. Keep a distance so warmth can breathe. When life is welded, attraction orbits craft. From stance to perspective, now reframe women as allies, not adversaries. Hold the mirror steady. Women are not opponents, they are agents in an ancient selection. Under evolutionary psychology, female choice is not a verdict on thyrsis, your dignity, but a filter for credible life. You mistake a test for contempt, you mistake silence for strategy. Read the room with respect, and you'll see preference, risk management, and care at work. Trivers reminds you that when investment is higher, choosiness rises. That makes kindness, reliability, and time-proven habits valuable. In dating dynamics, you stop auditioning and start collaborating. Clear invitations, clear exits, and boundaries that protect the day. You want pair bonding? Build predictability, keep your word, and ship real work. You confuse warm chemistry with durable character. Don't. Masculine sovereignty means you decide pace and protection, not as leverage, but as stewardship. Ostrom's lesson: cooperation thrives where norms are explicit and enforced. Set terms once, enforce quietly, and reward reciprocity. Status signals without substance collapse. Costly signaling is consistency paid in effort, not flex. Social proof can be noise. The attention economy loves noise. You choose proof over performance, projects over posturing, and individuation over mimicry. Choose by values, leave without malice, and bless the path. With the frame clean and the standards set, you can pledge to something larger than dating. Lay down the ladder and build the house. Aristotle points you toward flourishing not as a feeling, but as a virtuous activity. Repeated choices stacking into character. You stop optimizing for clout and start serving the work. Standards are not scenery, they are structure. Run a quarterly audit. Hours mastered, promises kept, waste cut. You mistake being busy for being useful. Choose the long road so your name outlives noise in the attention economy and chatter in evolutionary psychology debates. Nietzsche reduces style to a hierarchy of values. You select the few aims that deserve your breath and align behavior until the silhouette holds under stress. No performative dating. Proof over posture. Keep a craft ledger. Shipped outputs, not filtered optics. On the board of desire, play chess, not checkers. Position, initiative, tempo. You think audience equals authority. It equals exposure. Authority is earned by cold starts, clean repetitions, and refusal to trade the forge for applause. Jung points the self toward the center. Frank reminds you that commitments are credible when they cost. So, you price your presence, schedule deep work first, and let companionship orbit mission. You set boundaries to protect flame, not to punish. You are not harsh, you are exact. Choose by values, keep the oath in private, and let invitations rise to your pace. Commit here. A life strong enough to be chosen by those who prefer well.